Hey, welcome back to another episode of Veterun. I'm your host, Jonathan Richardson. Today is another special episode. For the second time, I'm bringing on another family member. This is my older brother, Thomas. A couple things about today's episode. This is our first Air Force veteran. He was a reservist, and I'll have him explain a little bit more about that when he talks about his RAN. But yeah, so older brother, he's known me for probably 32 years. I've known him for about 28, if I can remember that far back. But yeah, so also for the second time, my last episode with my older brother, we were at a Thanksgiving thing, and today we're celebrating my dad's 70th birthday as well as a little bit of a family Christmas. So that's what we're doing today. So go ahead and tell everybody, you know, I cannot remember what year you went in, 18, right?
17.
17. So go ahead, start at 2017, or if you need to back up a little bit as to like what led you to join the Air Force, tell them what you did. But just give us that RAN, give us that time in service. And then when you hit that DD-214 or whenever you ended the IRR, just stop right there.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you letting me be a part of your podcast. Really excited to be here. It was kind of an interesting thing that led me to the Air Force. I'd been with Chick-fil-A for a long time, and I believe a lot of people, no matter what they do, once they get to a certain point, they kind of get in a rut. And you've kind of experienced everything you can experience in that job or career. And that's kind of where I was at. I was getting burned out with what I was doing, didn't really want to quit and find a new career. And you were already in the service. Brian was in the service. You know, our granddad was in the Navy. And so I kind of didn't want to just find another job. I thought, why not join the military? I didn't feel called to do full-time active duty. So I started talking to a recruiter. I already had a degree in business management with a minor in marketing. And, so I was fortunate to graduate boot camp as a E3 and move up a little faster, just thankfully because of that. But I want to do something, serve my country. Also, one of the biggest reasons I joined the military was I wanted to gain a new perspective on leadership that the private sector doesn't really give you. And what I found, especially at the beginning, being a new, junior NCO and NCO in the military, is you have to learn how to motivate people for the sake of being better for the flight, for their squadron. You can't just give them a bonus or give them a free day off. You have to get them to want to be better for the sake of being better, for the sake of themselves, for the sake of the mission. And that was just a really neat learning for me, coming from just leading restaurants and leading people, was learning how to motivate people without something in it for them, just to be better for the sake of the mission. And joined the Air Force Reserves in 2017, graduated BMT in 2018. I went into air transportation, so loading planes, driving staircase trucks. There's a lot of different things. Basically anything that goes on an airplane we touch, whether it's going on, going off, taking people to FOBs. We're some of the first ones there because we have to unload everything, get it off. We're also the last ones to leave. So a lot of really cool stuff, loading helicopters, munitions, remains from fallen soldiers. So some serious things as well. Got to do some cool stuff. Got to do a Title 10 contingency at-home deployment, I guess you could say, during COVID. That was busy. Very interesting time to be in the military during COVID. But got to do a presidential or take place with a presidential, what do they call it when they go speak in front of a crowd. President Trump was in.
I don't know.
President Trump was in Rome doing a speaking event, trying to get trying to get into office again.
Like a campaign.
Campaign. There we go. He was on the campaign trail. Supposed to be Air Force and smart, right?
It's really been a long day.
I know.
Too much going on.
But I got to go take part in that, and it was funny. A member of the Secret Service team came up to a group of us and asked if any of us wanted to do something. And I was just standing there. I was kind of bored. And I was like, sure, why not? I don't want to just stand here the whole time. And one of my senior NCOs was like, no, Thomas, I'm not going to let you do it. Or no, Richardson. And so he rock, paper, scissors made. And I beat him 3-0.
In front of the Secret Service agent?
In front of a Secret Service
agent. So at least you had a witness. You couldn't say no to that.
Yep. And actually got to take place working with Air Force One when it landed. I was just standing out on the on the taxiway by myself, at attention waiting for the plane to stop moving. But I got to take place in a couple little Secret Service briefings. Kind of cool. They had code names for everything. So, my little fangirl, I was like, oh my goodness, it's real. Plane had a name, president had a name.
Hmm.
And then I just got to sit right on the other side of the plane where he was getting out, I don't know, 25, 30 yards from him.
That's cool.
And got to watch that. Got a coin from the Secret Service and some stuff like that. So that was probably one of the most memorable moments. But, my reason for being in the military and kind of staying in the length I did was to help younger airmen kind of get to where they wanted to go and help them understand the Air Force is going to be as good as you want it to be.
Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes it sucks. It's the military, hurry up and wait and all those things. But while you're waiting, you can still be involved in other things and help other people get to where they want to go. I decided to get out of the military when I was part of the group that was temporarily discharged for not taking the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
Very interesting time to be in the military. And I just decided my time was done, wanted to focus on my wife and my family. And so I got out in September of 2023. And September of 2025, I finished my RR status. And I'm glad that part's done, but I miss the camaraderie, I think, of the military.
I feel like a lot of people, that's one of the biggest things they miss. We always say, like, we miss the clowns, not the circus.
Yeah.
And you miss your brothers in arms. Okay, so you mentioned something, and you're at the DD-214 part.
Yep.
Well, actually, I guess you're past that because the IR.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like your DD-214 and your IR.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you guys are IR for only 2 years.
2 years.
Okay. You mentioned something about younger airmen.
Yeah.
How old were you when you joined the Air Force?
I was in my late 20s.
Okay.
And so I was almost 10 years older than almost the rest of the flight. I was grandpa, pops,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff to everybody else. So I was significantly older.
Probably older than most of your drill instructors too. Probably.
Yeah, I was the same age or older than almost all of them. Yes.
Yeah.
But because of that and because of my civilian experience I had in running businesses, like I just stopped a job that I ran 3 Chick-fil-A's, had 172 employees, did 22 million a year, and came into that. And so myself and the drill instructors got to have a really unique relationship just because of what I had done in the civilian world. And I was so much older than everybody else. They voluntold me that I was going to be dorm chief. So just, I got in trouble first, but I also was able to go in their office and have like leadership conversations while an airman stood outside because I couldn't be there by myself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were some really neat things about being that age and being at BMT as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, age has I was only like maybe 3-4 years older than most of the guys I went through with, but yeah, at the same time, even that difference, like everybody's already looking up to you like, oh wow, you're over 21, so you must be smart. And then you do something
drink.
like, yeah, you could drink. Wow, good for you. I can't do that yet legally, but we're still going to do it anyway. Okay, so for you, those of you watching that don't really understand, so you've got your active duty, where you're there 24/7, 365, and then you've got your reservists where you do like a weekend a month, and during your summertime you have like 2 weeks of drill, and then
throughout the whole year you could do it.
Yeah, and then you can potentially get active duty orders to where you get deployed or
redeploy and all that as
yeah,
well. Yeah,
which I think you had that happen once where you were just in the States, but you had like a big
it was
thing.
like 8 months. Yeah,
That was during COVID time.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so they got called up during a COVID thing. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Okay, so sorry about that. And we are not editing that out.
No.
My niece, who's here, just decided to try and come into our little secret meeting down here. So active duty, you can't really do anything else except for the military. But reservists, they have a civilian job while they are also, once a month or 2 weeks out of the year coming and doing their military career. So what did you do during your time in service as a reservist?
So I did a couple things. I worked with I guess you could call it a home remodeling company called Window World. Did sales for a little while. I actually worked with you.
We did. We put in some windows. We sold some
windows.
Yes,
sold windows. That was kind of a neat, different thing. I didn't really want to go back to Chick-fil-A as soon as I came back from school in Virginia. And After about a year of that is when I got my orders per se for here, and I did that. And when I was done with all of those, I went back to Chick-fil-A. I actually found it was really easy with a lot of the things I was learning in the military with leadership to transcribe that into Chick-fil-A, because you have the opportunity to impact so many people. I mean, when you have 100+ employees, that's a lot of opportunity, especially when you get to be the one excuse me, sorry, when you get to be the one leading them.
Mm.
And so I just kind of went right back to that Chick-fil-A world just because of the opportunity it gave me to impact younger people again. And that's kind of what I did after and during
Okay.
service.
So that's what you're currently doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I,
But you're no longer here in Georgia.
nope.
You've moved. You're in
Yep.
Kentucky. You hoped to open a store
Yep.
recently.
I live in Scottsville, Kentucky, which is about 45 minutes northeast of Nashville, Tennessee. Helped a brand new owner operator open a restaurant in Glasgow, Kentucky. It's her first restaurant in Glasgow. This is their first Chick-fil-A. So once again, another really neat opportunity to work in a new market. We had 135 team members when we opened. So just once again, a really neat opportunity to take a lot of those leadership lessons and use them in the private sector.
Okay. And you said you have weren't you a dual major in college as well?
I was.
Yeah. So you have management, marketing, and
Business management is one, and then marketing is the other.
okay. And then you said a minor in something.
I meant to say
Dual.
a
Okay.
double
Okay. Okay.
major.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
okay. So obviously you have military background. You've got a double major, business management, marketing. Like, if you weren't doing what you're doing now with Chick-fil-A, what would you see yourself doing? Like entrepreneurial work,
Yeah.
business ownership work. What would you?
So my long-term goal, um, well, I'm actually currently in a school. I'm doing an AI RMF cybersecurity course with Fusion Cyber through the University of Kentucky. That's a really neat course that I got through being a veteran in the state of Kentucky. I don't really see myself using cybersecurity as a whole, but I want to take pieces of it and implement it into what I would love to do. I love leadership. I love mentoring. I love speaking. I've had the opportunity to travel and speak at different businesses, meetings. I would love to be able to travel and speak. I want to get the Six Working Genius certification and work with executive leadership teams and help re-strategize their leadership structure, help them understand who's good at what and the why behind it all. Uh, and then for those of you who don't know, Jonathan and my brother Brian and I started something called Make It Work, which is potentially like a leadership
Weekend
weekend conference kind of thing. And I would love to do that as well. That is still an option. The company that we'd like to work with is still going through some restructuring of its own. But like that, I'd love to travel and speak. And 20 years of Chick-fil-A and leadership, along with the military and all that kind of stuff, has given me kind of a unique perspective on things. And that's kind of what I'd like to do.
Okay. Very good, very good. Normally I have like a notepad with questions, and I'm trying something different with you, since I
That's
know
good.
you a little bit better than most of the people I interview.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so one thing that normally comes up is like issues that veterans have, and the biggest one normally is like usually depression or PTSD
Yeah.
of some kind. And our brother Brian on his episode, I believe you probably watched that
Yep.
one. He talks about how if that's you, come to my farm. I've got this really beautiful creek you can come sit at, and you can just
Yep.
sit there in solitude. This man lives on like
I live
300
on
acres
200
of
acres, and
200 acres of Kentucky bluegrass.
I offer the same thing to people. Like, it's a beautiful, peaceful piece of property that, as long as I know you're coming, come sit by the pond. I build a swing set and just breathe, walk around, connect with yourself. I think the biggest thing getting out of the military with me is once you get to a certain level in the service, everyone around you, you're all the same goals, same drive, even like physical, you work out, you run, and that's kind of who you gravitate toward. Well, when you get out, that's gone.
Hmm.
And you almost have to start from ground zero again.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, even in the reserves, like, yes, I had a civilian job, but basically I was running a fast food restaurant. There aren't many people like that in that kind of setting. You can make connections and kind of have some buddies and stuff like that. But it's not the same when you come. Like my squadron had 200 people in it. My section, I guess you could say, had like 40. And out of that 40, there were at least 10 of us just in that section that were really close, worked out together, ran together, held each other accountable, had each other's backs on and off base. And when you're gone, it's almost like you're even forgotten that you were a part of that squadron. You're a part of that platoon, whatever the case may be. And you just kind of disappear. There's no like goodbye parties. It's literally one day you're there, the next day you're out processing,
That shoe's been
and
filled.
here's your folder,
Well,
and get them your CAC. Here's your veteran ID, and
deuces.
see you never. The VA's got you now.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing, because where can you go unless you join like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club or some crazy thing like that where everyone is super high level? Where will you get that? And
Yeah.
so I kind of do the same thing with Brian, and it's totally random, but we're a big thing about coins, and I love making connections. And I met this gentleman, you know this. He was the command sergeant major for the state of Kentucky. His name is he's retired Chief Master Sergeant or Chief Sergeant Major Phil Geralds
Okay.
in Kentucky, and his granddaughter works for me. And he randomly came in one day, and I gave him a Chick-fil-A challenge coin, and he came back the next day and gave me one of his. And we connected, and he runs a consulting business. And he and I have been communicating about me and or the Make It Happen group.
Okay. Make it work.
Or Make It Work. Man, that's horrible. Make It Work group. Come speak.
Okay.
And be in part of his consulting thing. All over the United States, he has chapters with this group. So that's what I think for myself, and even Brian, and I know you as well, is finding veterans, finding people that were in the service and connecting with them and letting them know you're still heard, you're still seen, you're still valued and appreciated, and trying to reconnect and rebuild that brotherhood that used to be when you were in service, and try to make people feel like they're still a part of something afterwards.
Yeah. And that's the whole purpose of this channel, is literally like, yeah, we've ran, but we're still running. We're
Yep.
still here. So I appreciate that. That's actually really cool. Somebody like what did you say his name was? I'm sorry.
Command Sergeant Major Phil Geralds.
Phil Geralds. He's out there doing the same thing, but actually like doing it. He's making sure people are feeling heard and seen. And that's one thing that a lot of veterans struggle with, is like, I've lost my family, and I mean, and it's not your real family, obviously, but it's more
You've
of a
lost who
family.
you are.
Yeah, you've lost who you are, and when you get that DD-214, you're right. They're just like, hey, your role's been filled. We don't need you anymore, so go find something else to do. So yeah, I appreciate that insight. That's really cool. Um, the coin's really cool too. I might have to take a picture of it and post it, so you guys can see it. So you've got 3 people so far. You've got Major Miller. I'm sorry. Wow, Colonel Miller. Sorry, Margaret. My brother and my older brother, who have both offered their property. If that's you, if you're just a veteran and you're just like, I need some peace. I know 2 of these properties are big enough to hunt and camp on. Like,
Yep.
I've been hunting on this property. There's some big old deer out there. It gets nice and cold in the wintertime. You can go out there and nobody would know you're there. It's fantastic. Very, very hilly. Just really great place to go sit and just get some peace. And that's probably another big thing that a lot of us need, is that peace and
Well,
just that mental
I'll give
stability.
another
So,
example if that's possible.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So where my wife and I live in Kentucky, we go to a farmer's market every weekend. They've really made a lot of really good connections with the local farmers and people that grow vegetables in our area. And one of them, their names are their DeWitts. And I started talking to him, and he had told me earlier in the year that his son Gabe had gone in the Marines and gone to boot camp. And they weren't super pumped about it, but they were supportive as much as they could be. And I made it a point every single weekend I saw them be like, hey, he's done with week 1. How's he doing? He's done with week 2, week 3. And I just kept track of it. And it might have been like week 8, I think. I saw him and said, hey, how's Gabe doing? And he got asked to leave, or I don't know what they call it in the Marines, not recycled, but
AdSet
he was,
from boot
yeah,
camp.
he was
Okay.
administratively or medically separated out of boot camp
Hmm.
because he had opened up to the wrong person about mental struggles that he had. And
Hmm.
they put him in that special,
Blue light. Yeah.
yep,
Okay.
and basically alienated him. Um, and I had given 2 of my own coins to the dad to give him when he graduated
Hmm.
boot camp, just as a cool, like, hey, no one else is getting real coins, so
Yeah.
give it to him.
Yeah.
Well, the dad went to give him back, and I said, no, I want you to at least let him have that one. I wanted to give him to make it work. Because part of the part on the back is adapt,
Hmm.
you know. And he came home, was struggling, and I was able to connect with him. And he talks about, yeah, he was struggling mentally when he was there, but the added mental stress of being separated and how it happened, how much more got added to it?
Hmm.
Because once he left, no one was checking on him. No one's making sure he's okay. Even when they put him in the blue light, like, he was done.
Hmm.
There was no seemingly care or concern. And so I got to kind of be that person to be like, hey, I am always here. You're never alone. Here's my phone number. Keep that coin in your pocket. And I've done this to multiple people. You pull that coin out and you hold that coin and know that there's at least one person that believes in you
Hmm.
and that knows that you can get through this and that there's always going to be someone there on the other end of the line if you need them to be. And Gabe and I still talk every Saturday that I'm at the market, and he's doing okay. He's looking for work. He's working out again. He's finding a little bit more motivation in life. But it was really tough there.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, people don't think about it. You put that uniform on every day, and then you wake up one day and it's gone.
Hmm.
What do you do? And I think even just being 8 weeks at boot camp, I think he had the motivation to do it.
Especially Marine Corps boot camp, they motivate.
Yeah.
They motivate the
And
heck out of you.
then they pull it out and go, oh, well, you're done. Go back home.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? How do you pick up from that?
Yeah.
So it's been neat to kind of be able to help Gabe and work with him and just talk to him honestly, just be there.
Okay. Well, that's an awful story. I mean, it's a great example, but it's an awful story to hear that, especially Marine Corps. I mean, we had a couple in our platoon that they were blue light special, so I've seen it happen. So I know it. I know it. It's got to suck.
But that's why I love your podcast, because
Yeah.
it's telling those people like, hey, you still have a purpose.
Yeah.
There's still a reason for you being here.
Yeah. No, and I hope every single person that watches this, whether you're still active duty, whether you're a veteran, whether you're a reservist, whether you're a civilian watching this,
Yeah.
like everybody's got a purpose on this world. And there's at least, like you just said, one person that cares. There's at least
Yep.
one person who, if you were to call that phone number right now, they'd answer.
Yep.
For veterans, whether it's the veteran crisis hotline or whether it's like just a boy that you got out of the military with, that's just always there for you. Well, that's a little chipper note. Well, it might not even be chipper. I don't know. But if you could give some advice to anybody who's on that fence about getting out, and it can continue along this trend of, hey, there's going to be somebody there for you on the other side. Like if somebody's on the fence of getting out or staying in, what advice would you give them for them getting out? I'm putting you on the spot. So.
No, I think it wasn't super difficult for me getting out because I already kind of had a career.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part about getting out was knowing all the support just from the people that I was around. Losing all of that, at least the in-person piece. They'd still answer a text, but that's a little different than bro hugging each other. I would say, just based on other people in that squadron who got out and didn't really have another career, is have a plan.
Mm.
Don't make a rash decision because you're done and you're aggravated. There are other paths you can take. You can switch jobs. You can change your FSCs, MOSs. Um, I would say make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, but have a plan. Do a 6-month extension if you don't know what that is. There are so many services out there that will work with veterans to help them find a job, to help get you certifications. What are you passionate about? Let's help get you going in a good direction so that you don't get out and then are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. Because that's hard. I mean, I never did active duty minus those orders. I can't imagine doing what I did those 6 or 7 months for 6 years and then one day just waking up and going, okay, now what?
No, I don't have a job. What do I do? Yeah.
I
Uh,
can't imagine doing that.
Imagine Brian, 20 years.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah, you have 20, Colonel,
yeah,
Margaret
6,
36,
36
like,
years. Yeah.
no, no, you're in your 40s at least, no, 50s. Like, I can't imagine
Don't age
waking
Brian.
up one day and being done
Yeah.
and literally sitting in your chair and going, well, now what?
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to have a plan. Have talk. Go to the resource center on your base, forward or post, and ask them. They always have job listings. See if there's something there that interests you. Get practice with interviewing. You can probably go to your commander and just ask him for help.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how did you interview to be the commander here? And I mean, find a senior NCO that has your back. But I would say have a plan. Don't make rash decisions. I've done it, and you end up having to catch up from that for a while.
Hmm.
I would just say plan. Have someone in your corner that's helping you.
That's smart. Yeah. I made the rash decision to get out. Long story short, I had planned to stay in, and rash decision after rash decision, I ended up getting out, and I had no plan. He convinced me to move to West Georgia. Convinced me to work with him at Window World because I think you had started there before I did.
Mm,
So I worked there for a little bit, and like you said, I'm still playing catch up. Like
yeah,
I still don't know what I want to do. I just graduated college last week. I'm considering going for my master's. Working for the college that I just graduated from, and even then, still sometimes I'm just like, is this really what I want to do? Like there's no more boys club.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but that's great advice. Have a plan. Don't be like me. Don't make rash decisions to where you're just like, hey, I guess I'm getting out, and then you have 2 weeks left to gather your stuff and move somewhere, and you
Yeah.
have no plan when you get there. But I appreciate you coming on today.
No, I appreciate you having me.
As always, for being a veteran, we're going to give you a Veterun shirt. But I hope this just
That's
fits.
awesome.
It's an extra small, so I don't know if
That's
that'll fit.
perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my size.
I think that'll fit you very
Extra
well.
small. Yeah.
But like I always talk about, Veterun is a purpose in motion. So once again, we've brought up the whole, if you're just in that part of your life where you just need some peace, like once again, just find a
Yeah.
place, whether it's a friend's piece of property or it's just a place where you can go and just sit and quietly think about, you know, just breathe. And then, like he said about having just have a good plan. If that's you, if you're that active duty or you're that, reservist who's on the fence about getting out, just start making a plan, write it down, make it
Yep.
make sense, and then start to follow that plan.
Yep.
But like I said, thank you for coming on today.
I
And
appreciate you having
you
me.
know what we do?
We
We
run.
run.